lot of the times we end up feeling guilty and ashamed because we are not reaching our goals or we don't know how to get there or whatever it is. A lot of the times it's also not your fault because our society is just set up
Yeah,
for us to be in a rush all the time.
so true.
We're exposed to so many chemicals that is messing up our hormones that can cause us to gain so much more weight. We're constantly bombarded by ads for fast food.
Yep.
You're never going to see an ad for organic or healthy food, whole foods, you know what I
That's
mean?
so true. Honestly, I just thought about it. Wow.
So
You're
it's
What's going on, my people? We're back again at another episode at The Way of Life. You know what time it is. We're here for good vibes, good energy, and great conversations. So we're going to get started. We got Jessica in the building.
woo! Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited for this conversation.
Thank you for being here. I'm just so excited to talk to you with chat. You have great things going for you. And I just thank you for honestly just taking the time out of your busy schedule and just tuning in with us for this conversation.
Of course, it's my pleasure. Definitely important conversations that you're bringing forward to the whole wellness industry and to the public.
Exactly. So before we get started, so who is Jessica? What are you about? What's your purpose?
What's your purpose? I love that you ask it like that. So I'm a holistic nutritionist and a life coach. My purpose is to specifically help people have a better relationship with food and a better relationship with themselves. I help people believe in themselves again after burnout, after emotional eating, after depression. Those are some of the main themes that I help people with. But overall, I want to help people have a better relationship with food and see how they can heal holistically.
That's glad. I'm really happy to hear that. That's honestly very good because especially that you've mentioned relationship with food. I feel that's very like a touchy subject in this generation. Like a lot of people have like such cravings. It's just like we don't really have a good relationship with food nowadays. And the fact that like you're an expert at that, that's honestly very good because you can impact so many people.
Like you're saying, I think our relationship with food has become so rushed.
Yeah.
And that's why there's such a surge of this whole self-care movement, right? Because we have rushed our lives, we have rushed our self-care, we have rushed even our meals. Think about, so many people are having their meals. There's fast food, there's drive-throughs, people are having their meals with their phones playing. We're not connected to our food anymore, and I strongly believe that it's a reflection of the relationship we have with ourselves, and now we're disconnected with ourselves.
Facts. That's honestly very good that you said that. And on your take, what do you think like people have such like cravings with food? And then what do you think that's causing to like the body metabolically, in your opinion?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so like a lot of people now we're like in an environment where everything is fast, like you said, right? It's like we're rushing. So I feel like that's leading to kind of like cravings because people don't have the time. They just take something fast food, and then it leads to having such cravings. And then those cravings can lead to like making bad choices. And what do you think it's causing people to have like these cravings and can't really have a relationship with food?
So there are two things in my opinion, and this is something I talk about actually in my signature workshop. It's called Decode Your Cravings. And I believe there's two things that is impacting people. One is that their actual microbiome is changing. When we eat a lot of fast food, when we don't eat enough whole foods, we don't eat enough veggies, our actual gut bacteria starts changing. When we don't have enough good gut bacteria, there's something, for example, that is candida, which is a sort of yeast that is present in our body. But when it overgrows because it feeds off of sugar, it thrives off of sugar. So we crave more sugar.
Wow.
So it's this endless cycle. And then two, I believe I believe that people are disconnected from themselves emotionally. People are burnt out.
That's
People are
true.
going
Yeah.
through a lot of mental health struggles. So
Yeah.
we're using food as a coping mechanism for comfort. And so we crave the easiest source of pleasure from food, which is the fast food, the high sugar, the processed food, which is going to really spike that dopamine really quickly, but it's not fulfilling our true emotional desires.
Yeah, I definitely agree too. And I love the fact that you said like the microbiome and like gut health, because lately I've been reading a lot about that. And I feel like a lot of people don't know like the impact that it has, right? There's a saying when people say trust your gut, and the gut is almost like, it's like the center of our like body. This is when like we have bacteria, we have viruses, fungi, and everything. So like I really want to like to show the viewers or people watching how important it is, and especially the relation that it has with like with our brain, right? Because it's like they depend on each other, right? And it's so important to understand that. And I feel like some people sometimes they make bad choices because they're just not aware, right? And it's so easy to like make bad decisions when you're not aware. But then when you're aware, when you understand like how like the microbiome is very beneficial for you, and especially by eating like the right food, and such as like vegetables, fibers, it impacts like the bacteria, right? Because I think some bacteria like feed off each other, and then the more diversity that you have with the vegetables, the better like you kill the dead ones, and then the new one rebuilt. But you see, like I'm able to understand that, so now I kind of make like better choices. But for the people that don't understand that, sometimes it's like it's tough, because now they're just going through the day rushing and not knowing about this. But then let's say for me, for example, if I'm going through the day, I'm gonna know, okay, I need that because I want to like heal my gut health. I need that because I know like I need to feed the good bacteria. So now like I kind of have a different approach because of the awareness. But then if somebody's not aware, it's very hard to like not to just make those bad decisions, right? And I really like the fact that you mentioned those two. And also when you talked about the relationship with food, and you're right? It's kind of like a way to like food is the best thing ever. We all know this, right? But then some people, they kind of like, when you're dealing like, let's say emotionally, some people can like revert to the food, right? And then now like if they don't have the right like measures, that can be very, very bad, right? Because now like you can go through anxiety, and then you can be stressed. Now you're just gonna be like over consuming. So in your knowledge, do you think like there's a way to kind of like help people that's going through that direction?
Well, I'd like to ask you a question first.
Yeah, for sure.
Answering. So how do you feel while you're eating fast food, and how do you feel after eating fast food?
I like that question. I really like that. Wow. Honestly, at the moment, it's amazing, right? You're like, yeah, this is so good, right? It tastes fantastic, right? Whatever they put in there just feels amazing. But then a couple hours after, that's when it starts to kick in. Now you're like, what's going on? You kind of feel weird. And especially for me, my stomach starts kind of like crawling. It really hurts. And then I start getting really tired. For some reason, I get really tired. And then I just start, now I want more of it, right? I want more of it. And then just to answer your question, like at this specific moment, it's the best thing in the world. It's like, oh, no, I'm unstoppable, right? But then afterwards, it just like, it's very bad. And honestly, like I really just feel like crap. I really feel bad. I feel like I don't know, like I'm just like there's something in my body just feels weird. Yeah, like to answer that question.
So there's so much I can say about this. First, we all know the saying, you are what you eat, right?
Oh, love that. Yep.
Well, I'm going to challenge you. You are not what you eat. You are what you digest, metabolize, and absorb.
Bars.
So if you don't have proper gut bacteria to digest the food that you're eating and to absorb the nutrients from that food, your digestion, it's not optimal, right? And two, you mentioned something that while you're eating it, it feels amazing, right?
Best thing in the world.
Best thing in the world. Because these food companies, fast food companies, processed food companies, they have literally figured out the perfect ratio and the chemical balance of fat, sugar, and salt that is going to trigger that dopamine response that makes you feel so happy and pleasurable while you're eating it. So it triggers that part of the brain. So we love eating it. And it also triggers parts of the brain that make us more addicted to it. We want more of it.
Wow.
And the gut is our second brain. So it's actually the seat of production of many hormones. So a lot of our dopamine is produced in the gut. A lot of our serotonin is produced in the gut. So if we don't have proper gut bacteria, our gut is not going to produce those hormones properly. And that's how we might end up feeling like shit. And of course, as a trainer, you know the reason why we don't feel good after is because it's not a macro balanced meal.
That's true.
There's not enough protein, there's not enough fiber, it's not healthy fats, it's not healthy carbs. So there's a lot of things that are connected.
Yeah, I agree.
But for someone to take a first step, honestly, the simplest thing is to just eat slower.
Eat slower. That's true. And I'm starting to get very good at that because personally, I'm somebody that kind of like just like eat very fast. Because like you said, we're just such in a rush nowadays. Like we don't have time just to like sit down and enjoy the meal. Because even though like I'm still eating like very clean, but it's like I'm rushed, right? So now I really like got better at just like taking my time. And then when I take my time, I feel like it just like in terms of like digestion, it digests like I just feel much better. But when I eat very fast, I tend to feel like more like bloated. Yeah.
Because you took so much time into preparing this meal for yourself, changing your mindset around food and saying, you know, I want to create this whole food meal. I see some of your videos, you know, I know you recreated a healthy version of the Big Mac.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that. But then if we're rushing through it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And I like the fact that you said like we made this meal and then like eating should be something like you really take your time because it's important, right? And that's what I started doing like for the past couple years. When there's a meal, I just like really take my time and enjoy. I really kind of like zone out, take my time and enjoy the bites and just like eat slowly. And I feel like I feel better like that. It's very, very good.
What do you feel has changed when you do that?
I would say like my mood, to be honest, because every time sometimes like I would eat very fast, I feel like I'm kind of like it's a little bit heavy. You know what I mean? It's very heavy. But then once I take like my time, it's like in the gym when you work out, you apply muscle mind connection, right? And I feel like when I eat slow, like I'm connecting with my food. It's like I can feel it like going through it, and it's just like it's a great feeling. I feel very good.
You said that, the muscle mind connection and then the gut mind connection.
Right? Yeah.
That's so true. It's mindfulness.
Yeah, and it makes like a big difference too. And I strongly recommend everybody doing that. Just guys, take your time, right? Food is something very important. We all love it. Take your time with it, and then it will just get better and better.
And you're actually going to absorb more nutrients from your foods when you do this.
Yeah, that's true.
And flat tummy tip, it's actually going to help reduce bloating.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Because if your stomach is not pumping so hard to break down the foods that you didn't chew properly, then that's what causes bloating. It's that excess pumping action that creates gas, and then you're bloated.
Oh, wow. Interesting. And speaking about bloating, last time I've been really paying attention lately about like stool and like poop, how like honestly how like important it is. But before I had no idea. And somebody with your expertise, like, can you like explain how really important it is, like to understand how it works?
Can I ask you a personal poop question?
Yeah.
Do you go to the bathroom every day?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Do you go at least once a day?
Yeah.
So a lot of people actually don't, and they think that that's normal. So not pooping every day is not normal. It's actually very common, but it's not normal. You're supposed to poop every day. You're supposed to have a bowel movement every day. If you're eating food every day, you're supposed to go to the bathroom.
Facts.
And that's how our body is naturally detoxifying.
Facts.
And if we're holding into that waste in our body, there are like your body's going to reabsorb some of those toxins. Your body's going to feel bloated. It's going to feel heavy.
Yeah.
You're basically holding in your poop.
Yeah.
And so you're going to feel like shit. You're going to feel sluggish all the time. There are people that don't go for 3-4 days.
Ooh,
It's not
that's
normal, but
bad.
it's actually quite common, and I see it in my practice a lot.
Wow, that's bad. And what do you think that happens to somebody like that? Why they're not able to go to the washroom?
Lack of proper diet, not eating enough fiber or healthy fats.
Wow.
Rushing our meals as well. I know we talked about that quite a bit. Rushing our meals, it's going to create tension in the gut, and we're not going to be able to go to the bathroom. Even people going on their phones on the toilet, that's putting yourself in a stress response. You're not allowing your body to relax. So just trying to the main theme here in our conversation, if you see, it's just trying to be more mindful.
That's
trying
true.
To relax,
Yeah,
right?
facts.
Take a deep breath before your meals. Don't go on your phone on the toilet. Allow your body to do what it's doing.
And just chill with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Let that shit go.
for real, you're right. And two, can you talk about like I know there's like a I would say like kind of like a size or like requirement, like the shape or whatever. Like I know there's like because lately every time I go personally now, like I've been so obsessed. Every time I just like I check. And I'm like, okay, that means like I'm all right. And then I check and like if some days is a little bit like off, so I know maybe like I ate probably something I wasn't supposed to eat. But can you talk about like the whatever it is, maybe like the recommendation or like what's the size is supposed to be considered as like a healthy digestion?
And I do want to mention, I'm so happy that you're concerned more with your gut health, especially as a health coach, as a trainer, as a fitness professional, because it's truly so important. And I know you know how important nutrition is, but it's also about gut health and bowel health.
Yeah.
So the ideal shape for our bowels is a sausage shape, where it's not too soft and it's not too dry.
Okay.
A nice sausage shape is usually the healthiest.
So every single time, if it's like a sausage shape, that means like you're healthy.
Your bowel, then it means that your bowels are indicating signs of healthy bowels. Yes.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And the other day, I don't know, like I saw something. I don't really know the term, but there's like a procedure or some sort of like surgery. What they do, they take like some person's poop.
Fecal transplant.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Okay, it's there's something,
Let's
right?
get into it.
Yeah. So I was really amazed. I had no idea. So technically, our poop has like bacteria, right? And then it can heal somebody. Wow.
So I'm actually glad that it's starting to get more traction. It is somewhat new. I did hear about it just from being in the world that I'm in. Fecal transplant, so what they're actually transplanting is that healthy microbiome. They're extracting those healthy bacteria, those healthy germs from a healthy person's stool, and literally transplanting it into the sick person's colon or I believe it's mainly the colon, and they're transplanting it.
That's what it is.
It's like taking a probiotic up the bum.
Wow.
But from someone else. I know it sounds like it's a weird concept. But if we think about it, if we're thinking about how our healthy gut bacteria impact our mood and our energy and even like our immunity hormones, our mental health hormones, everything, then there are healthy bacteria that are in our bowels that could be transplanted to people that have specific sicknesses, and they are seeing them improve.
Wow. Interesting. Thank you so much for clarifying that, because I saw that the other day. I was like, wow. And that's why now you see, like, I'm really obsessed with like my bowel movement, because I'm like, wow, if somebody, they can take that to heal somebody, that means like it's very important, right? So now like I really pay attention to that, like the gut health. And those are the things like 3 years ago, I probably had like no clue, right? Especially for me as like my profession as a fitness trainer, it's more of right? Like strength training, working out and all that. But then now there's like, people got to know there's more to that, right? There's like I call it like the internal fitness, right? So like gut bacteria and all, that's like internal fitness. It's as important as the external fitness, which is like the physical, the muscles and all that. And then once you combine the internal fitness, which is kind of even more important, and you have like awareness, it's just like sky's the limit. You're going to be such in a great place and you're going to be so healthy.
Yeah. So on that note, I actually recommend a few things. Something that you're already doing is that you're going every day once. So taking note of how often am I going? Something that you're doing as well is taking an actual look in the toilet bowl and what's going on with my bowels. What shape is it? And noticing if there's any blood, any undigested food particles, and just becoming more familiar in what's going on with what my body is releasing. And also seeing, is there any tension? Do I have to like push really hard to have proper bowel movement? And just seeing what's going on there.
Wow. You heard that, guys? That's bars, man. That's bars. I love that, honestly. Like, yeah, I've been doing this, and I feel like now that you actually like explain that, I'll be even doing that even more because it's very important. And like I said in the beginning, we see like it's only about like awareness, right? And then people watching this, people listening to this, they're probably going to gain more awareness. And then because of that, because of us talking about it, they're going to be able to make better decisions or just be able to understand what's going on. But once you don't know, once you don't have the right information, it's just much harder, right? And that's why I'm really big on just like sharing the knowledge and just like putting it out there so people can just make better decisions.
And something that you can even tell your clients is that I know a lot of people in the fitness world and the health world, they want to lose weight, right? But if you don't go to the bathroom every day, it's going to be very hard for you to lose weight.
Facts. That's true. Yep. Got that. Make sure go to the bathroom and check. All right. And in terms of that, so yes, as a trainer, I deal with a lot of people that wants to like kind of like lose weight, right? They want to lose like some body fat. And then with your experience, especially in terms of like food and cravings, what do you think that's kind of hard for them to achieve that, in your opinion?
Why is it hard for people to lose weight?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think people mostly nowadays are overwhelmed. Like you're saying, people don't have the awareness. They don't really understand how important gut health is, how important bowel health is, how important building muscle is. People are just overwhelmed because they're living such rushed lifestyles. So I believe people need community, people need accountability, and people need to reframe their mindset.
Yeah, absolutely right. Especially accountability. That's such like, I'm so big on that. And then with my practice, what I do, like almost 90% of what I do to help people is accountability, right? Because some people now, they're rushed, they don't have the time. So I'm just that person that be like, shoot a little text, hey, don't forget this. Oh, hey, don't do that. And then those tiny changes could lead to like remarkable results, right? And it's just that, just having somebody to keep you like accountable. Even like in our space, we do that a lot. Just like making sure that people are supposed to do what they're supposed to do. Because a lot of people is like, yes, you know what to do, but like, are you really going to do it? Right? Because the information is overwhelming. But some people know if you want to lose weight, okay, you have to start eating properly and maybe working out. Now the question is, are you really going to do it? That's the question when I come in with like the accountability system and really make sure I keep them accountable and really make sure they're able to do what they're supposed to do. So that's really big. Accountability, support system, all of that. Because the more that you have that, the better that you're going to be. First, you're going to feel good because you have kind of like a community and people like watching over you. And I remember last time you honestly said something, you probably don't even know this, but then I can never forget that. You said something like, we heal in, we can't do it on our own and we heal in community.
Heal in community.
Yeah. So exactly. Yeah. So that sentence, like it's like it's tattooed on me. When you said that, I'm like, it's so true, because we really have to be in community to be able to like heal. And sometimes now, especially a lot of people dealing with like depression, right, anxiety, stress, they tend to be a little more isolated, right? And then once you're isolated, it's very, very hard. It's honestly very hard. And when you have like a communities, people you can reach out to, just by like talking, it just makes it much easier. So when you said that, like, I use that every day.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that sense of belonging, right? Sense of belonging to a community. I'm sure like your members here when they come, like, oh, I'm going to a fit zone class.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see people. We're gonna work out together. I'm encouraged, right? It's really that sense of belonging to a community that helps us thrive.
Yeah, I honestly agree. Yeah, even like what we're doing now, there's probably a lot of people that's going to be listening and watching. And then that's the goal. That's how you make a world a better place, by just sharing, being in community, being exposed to new things. And I just love to participate in that and sharing, because we just heal in community. So the better it is, right? Yeah, honestly.
I'd like to mention one more thing too, is especially for the people that are trying to improve their health, whether it's weight loss or just trying to improve your overall health, you're trying to heal from an illness, you want to gain strength, whatever it is. A lot of the times we end up feeling guilty and ashamed because we are not reaching our goals, or we don't know how to get there, or whatever it is. A lot of the times it's also not your fault, because our society is just set up
Yeah.
for us to be in a rush all the time.
So true.
We're exposed to so many chemicals that is messing up our hormones that can cause us to gain so much more weight. We're constantly bombarded by ads for fast food.
Yep.
You're never going to see an ad for organic or healthy food, whole foods. You know what I mean?
That's so true. Honestly, I just thought about it. Wow.
So
You're right.
It's honestly not your fault, but it is your responsibility.
Yeah, facts. I just thought about it. You're so right. There's never ads about like healthy stuff.
Yeah.
That's so true. Wow. Oh my God. Yeah, it's like, I feel like you're right. It's like we're kind of like exposed to fail, right? And it's so easy to like fail because we're exposed to that. Like you said, we're rushed, and it doesn't cost as much. So like, bam, you take it once. And like the worst thing, we talked about it earlier, is like in the present moment is a satisfaction. You feel good, but then those decisions, you might not see it now, but within a week, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, it's like a compound effect. Then it gets really hard. And then now, like, you get lost in the sauce. What happened? But I've been doing this. But did you check what you've been doing the couple years? And then it adds up real quick, right? Yeah.
And I get it. Like, I was addicted to sugar. When I was in university, I was depressed. I was addicted to sugar. I did not have a sense of belonging. I that like it, lowest of the low. So I get it, and I understand it because I've been there.
Wow.
And I think a lot of times people will look at me because I look like I have a fit body, but internally, what's going on? My organs were completely out of balance. My hormones were wrecked. I had a really poor relationship with food. I couldn't go on without eating a pastry or sugar because I just needed that energy source.
Wow. And what did you do to get like just like better?
How to get better?
Yeah, how do you get better?
So just like you said, it wasn't an overnight process where I just woke up and I was burnt out.
I see.
I realized that burnout happened cumulatively and compounding. So I had to do things in the same way to heal. I worked with a naturopathic doctor to balance my hormones. That's when I started learning about holistic nutrition. I started to do a lot of emotional healing as well, doing a lot of introspection, taking a look at myself. I improved my relationship with food. I started focusing on sleep better, on hydration, on movement that felt good for me. But all this took time. It didn't happen over the course of a few months. It took a bit of time for me to get better overall, and that's how I fell in love with what I'm doing.
Wow, so good to hear that. Honestly, like the fact that even you said like it's not an overnight success and transformation, is just it takes a long period of time. And that's what I can relate with you on that, because that's what I try to teach like my clients that come here, because everybody, they want like instant, right? They want instant. They want like, okay, 30 days I do this. And then like sometimes, for example, they're working out and they're really doing good, right? But just because in 30 days they haven't seen no changes, now they might be like feeling bad. But no, that's just like the step that you're going to the right direction, because 30 days as to 60 days to 90 days, and then over a long period of time, compound effects of doing something good, just like you did, and then now you get healed, you get out of a better place. So it really takes a lot of time. And my approach of what I do, I kind of like help people on like just taking the time, right? Taking the time to be better, taking the time to make the right decision. It's not like a overnight. And the more you think of it as like a fast like transformation, the worse it's going to be. But if you take it like little by little, just like you did, eventually you're going to get better. And just like you did. And it's good to hear that, right? I love hearing stories when people kind of like achieve something that they weren't before, because I can tell just by what they achieve what type of person they are, because it takes a lot, right? It takes a lot of dedication. And then you're only thankful once you're like get it, because you see like what you've been through, right? And that's what's called a journey, right? So a journey is very, very important. Everybody has different type of journeys. So as long as like you're just like aware of it and you take it one step at a time. Yeah.
And a big part of it was just taking responsibility for the bad habits that I had compounded over the years, right? I had to take responsibility for that and just realize, well, what am I willing to do about it? And am I ready to make that change?
Yeah. And before we wrap it up, I wanted to talk about, because lately, I don't know about you, but then when I go to grocery stores, especially when it comes like to meat, I see a lot of like, let's say I'm going today, the expiry date is like in 2-3 days. And so I've been kind of like searching to like better avenues to do like groceries. And then do you have any recommendation to like where to go, or like maybe why is like things expiring so soon? Do you have an idea, or if not, is there a place that you would recommend like going to avoid these things from happening?
So if somebody's looking for higher quality meats or higher quality foods, or you want to know where the sourcing of your meat is coming from, I really recommend going to local farmers markets, because a lot of the time there might be butchers there might be farmers there are companies out there that will sell you high quality meat that you can just keep in your freezer depending on how much you want. So it's just about looking what's local to you. The more local something is, the more fresh it will be. And the more you can have a discussion with the person who's producing it. Well, how do you feed them? What are they eating? What are they exposed to? And just trying to do more research from just talking to the person that's in front of you serving you that meat.
That's true. So I guess the more local it is, so like the more likely it will be better.
I would say so in general. Meat is so processed now, right? They're given so many antibiotics, growth hormones, things like that too. But the fact that you can have a conversation with the farmer or the person selling it to you and understand how you can make better choices for yourself, I think is already an empowering place to be. So looking for things that are like grass-fed meat is usually going to be of higher quality. Meats that are not made with antibiotics, things like that.
Okay, makes sense. Good to know. So I'm gonna take some notes of that.
It's overwhelming. I know there's so much out there. It depends where a person is at in their journey, right? You're clearly at a point where you want to start upgrading the quality of your food, and it's a great place to be. So just doing a little bit of that research and seeing what's the most affordable way for you to do that and get high quality foods.
Makes sense. And last question. So let's say somebody's going through like a tough phase. They're like at a point of their life, they're like stress, work, dealing with a lot of stuff. And then like they don't have a good relationship with food. And then they tend to have like cravings. They don't have kind of like skill set to kind of like control their cravings. what would you recommend what would you recommend this person to take action on, like becoming better? Like, what are the, let's say, like 2 elements would you advise this person?
The things that are coming to my mind right now is trying to improve their sleep. If we're lacking sleep and we don't have energy during the day, if the person is able to focus on their sleep and get more rest into their life, that's going to help them think clearer. And 2 would be to take a look at their priorities in their lives. A lot of the time when we're burnt out, when we're overwhelmed, when we're stressed, we are prioritizing too many things at once, or maybe we're prioritizing the wrong things. So maybe just focusing on what are my 3 top priorities for the day. If I get these done, then I'll feel good. The rest is just extra. So just taking some things off your plate. And if you're able to hire help or just getting more community, going back to what we were saying.
Yeah.
There's the word unity in community, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So it really takes a village, and surrounding yourself by people who are going to help you towards those goals is going to be important. But it's always a matter of seeing where the person is at and what they're able to do so that they don't feel more overwhelmed or more stressed about their health journey.
Yeah, that's facts. And to explore that topic, let's say somebody's listening and watching, how can they get in touch with you? Just dive into that. Where can they find you and ask you more questions, or just like seek your help?
Definitely. So I can share my socials. I'm Wholistika on Instagram. So Wholistika is WHOLISTIKA. They can also email me. It's holistikawellness@gmail.com. And they can get in touch with me. They can get in touch with you. If it's important to hire someone that you resonate with, that you feel is compatible with you, your lifestyle, and your goals, and someone who you feel is going to encourage you.
So you guys heard that. So now I don't want no excuses. You guys know what to do. For any additional question or help, you can hit her up. She said it. For additional question on health, fitness related, you know where to find me. Thank you again for watching another episode at The Way of Life. Take care, guys.